you go to Google.cn, which we have been expecting will go black at some point, analysts have been saying it's not if, it's when. If you go to Google.cn right now, it is currently being redirected to Google.com/HK, which is for Hong Kong, as you well know. In fact, when you go to that page, it actually says, welcome to Google's new search, Google China's new home page. So one of the things to point out, now we still have not gotten any indication from the company as to what the plans are, what is going on here exactly, but this is something that we have indeed found here, and that is that when you type in Google.cn, it immediately redirects you to Google.com/HK. It's going to be interesting to see if this is the actual solution, if they have reached some kind of agreement with the Chinese government to maintain this page and see if that will be operating within China. So certainly this is something that we continue to watch. Remember, we had been expecting some kind of plan to be outlined just about half an hour ago, I believe. The State Department coming out and saying it sees, quote, strong indications of a Google announcement sometime today. They did not elaborate. So we're hoping to get more information as this goes along. But again, this is pretty much the latest that we have. Back to you guys.
Well, Cris, as somebody who covers Google regularly, I mean, is this Google style? I mean, that this would be a de facto announcement sort of just by doing this quietly? Or typically do we get some sort of formal announcement made in a situation like this?
Well, typically, some of the things that Google does is, for instance, when they announced that they were going to be doing when we first got the announcement, remember that Google was planning on pulling out of China. If you might remember, that came through their blog site. They did send reporters a heads up saying, hey, check out our blog, but it wasn't something that was explicitly said, hey, this is what we were doing. They put it on their Google.com site. So again, kind of the style to be a little more open, not necessarily telling us exactly, but I'm assuming, and I would have to assume, given the reports from the State Department, that they are planning on giving us some information specifically in some kind of either blog posting or detailed report. We always take a look at the Google blog because, again, that's where they post a lot of their announcements.
And Cris, we should remind our viewers that Bloomberg TV did interview Secretary of State Hillary Clinton on March 19th, and she said that the United States government was not going to tell Google what to do in China. Do we know any more about that, if there were any talks between Google officials and the State Department?
You know, at this point, I cannot speak to that. I know that the official from the State Department that spoke today, he was questioned a lot whether the U.S. had been given a heads up that there was going to be this announcement from China or from Google itself. He did not want to elaborate. Hopefully, we'll get more details on that. I will tell you this, as far as the negotiation goes, remember, it's been 2 months since they announced they were going to pull out. There have been talks, in fact, the CEO, Eric Schmidt himself, saying that they have been negotiating with the Chinese government. Standard & Poor's has been anticipating or saying that these past 2 months have been intense negotiations because they want to figure out what kind of presence that will continue in China. So certainly going to be interesting to see. But again, the latest headlines, Google.cn right now redirected to Google.com/HK for Hong Kong. Back to you guys.
All right, Cris, Valerio outside Google headquarters in Mountain View.